Claudia went to Cornwall, and she went to a chalk mine. Tin mine.
It's not really that relevant.
Some sort of mine, and then kind of wrote the first half of the song as we kind of do, and then I was told to finish kind of half of the rest of the song. So I kind of interpreted it being something to do with tradition and losing tradition and things like that. So yeah, it's a song. Which I kind of know the words to.
I describe this is one of our fresh out the womb songs. It's very new. I went to this mine and I was really struck by, so it only closed down in the 90s, but they've got like a really, really old mine shaft there as well from, I think 100 years ago or something. And there's kind of all this history and writing in the buildings and writing on the wall of when it shut down and people graffitiing that they were going to lose their jobs and stuff. And I was just very struck by the fact that that's a trade that is now, because it's not profitable, has just sort of disappeared, and that there would be many, many generations of families that have grown up working in those mines and they pass their skills on to their children, and then their children work there. I just felt kind of it linked quite well to just a lot of the lack of permanence of a lot of the things in the modern day. And it's called Fleeting.
All I could think whilst Claudia was saying children's children is just Monty Python. It's like her father's father, his father's father's father.
Are you looking up a joke or are you looking up the lyrics?
The lyrics.
Okay.
This is how new it is.
Yes, this is very new, but I'll start so you can get. I took a trip down to a world beneath the coastline. It wasn't long ago the mine had hit its deadline. Someone penned the end whilst they tried to comprehend, losing all that they'd ever known. I took a step towards the sea in the winder house, pulled a lever, picture cages carrying workers out, pictured spinning off the gears and clunking ringing in my ears. But today the silence is so clear. But life is fleeting, but it's hard to feel that things have no real meaning. Outside of pockets getting heavy in the ceiling, whilst the world races on. All of what you have before it's gone.
There was a time I sang old hymns at St. Augustine. Underneath the cross I helped my father build when I was young. A carpenter like Joseph with a firm and steady hand, but he left it to become a family man. Now there is power in tradition, but the world is changing fast.
Are we blinded by ambition, disregarding what is past?
So hold on to what is sacred, may your love forever last.
Just hold on.
Just hold on.
Hold on. And life is fleeting, but it's hard to feel that things have no real meaning. Outside of pockets getting heavy in the ceiling, whilst the world races on. All of what you have before it's gone.
Do you want flute, guys? Do you want some flute?
Yeah, I know what I'm playing.
Yeah.
Are you going to pick up some chords?
Yeah.
I'll do my best.
I'm going to go back there. You go. Back to A.
Woo!
And 1, 2, 3. that things have no real meaning. Outside, pockets getting heavy,
life is fleeting, but it's hard to feel the things I know real meaning. Outside, the pockets getting heavy, hit the ceiling, whilst the world races on. Oh, love what you have, oh, love what you have, oh, love what you have before it's gone.
Politics and extremists, the left and right wing. People vote for who they want till they get in. Then they just lie and cheat, go back on their word. It's a hard time living in this world. People say that the West is civilized. I ain't too sure, Hiroshima took some lies. Hear it on the radio and on your TV, how I hate listening to the BBC. Just poke my head out of the sand, sitting where that gets you, Luther King and Robinson. But what will it take to get a nice bloke into number 10, all Washington? You heard it on the radios about yesterday. Think surely not, that don't happen today. But now it's worse than ever, controlling and slavery. Difference now is we don't say anything. These talks, they're just result in more war. Recruitment ain't great, and the Navy is poor. It begs the question, what on earth would we do if Russia did what America say they do? Politics and extremists, left and right wing. People vote for who they want till they get in. Then they just lie and cheat, go back on their word. It's a hard time living in this world.
If you don't know Gary Burr, you would probably know his songs. And if you don't know his songs, you would definitely know the people that sung them. And so he's a very big name in the songwriting community. And as you can imagine, I was fairly nervous. It was the first time I'd ever written with anyone, and it had to be Mr. Gary Burr. And I was going into there, and in my brain I was thinking, oh God, am I going to be any good at this? Because you don't know if you're good at anything until you do it with someone else. And I've been writing for so long on my own, and I just didn't know how to do it with anyone else. So anyway, we get to his house just outside of Nashville City, Brentwood. And he opens the door and he lets us in, and he's so lovely and he's funny and he's charming and he puts me right at ease, and I'm like, okay, this is going to be fine. It's going to be good, we're going to have a great time, and it's going to be fine. And then he takes me to his studio, which is downstairs, and on the walls, lining the walls, is every instrument ever made. I mean, guitars, banjos, bass guitars, mandolins, ukuleles. There was probably a lute somewhere hidden in the back. There was everything. And in between those instruments were platinum records. And I was like, oh, the fear came crawling back. Anyway, we then did what I considered to be the most ironically British thing ever, and wrote a song called Fearless. And it comes out this week, so please go and pre-save it, and when it comes out, add it to your playlists and listen to it. Yeah, this is called Fearless. I could fly. Ended up with a 3-inch scar, or up and down that I could drive. Put a big old dent in my daddy's car. Climbed out my bedroom window to meet a boy at 2 a.m. Fell off the roof and broke my arm trying to climb back in. You may say I'm way too young for all the stupid things I've done, but without mistakes, life's no fun. So one by one I'm making it. There's chances I'm taking. There's rules, well I'm breaking. They say no, I say yes. I have always been fearless. Probably should have thought it through before I drank those whiskey shots. When you're that age, it's hard to do. So I ended up passed out cold in a parking lot. You may say I'm way too young for all the stupid things I've done, but without mistakes, life's no fun. So one by one I'm making. There's chances I'm taking. There's rules, well I'm breaking. They say no, I say yes. I have always been fearless. Not quite an extensive list. Temptations I could not resist, but I've got a lot more temptations to go. And I'm not gonna run, 'cause I know I'm fearless. You may say I'm way too young for all the stupid things I've done, but without mistakes, life's no fun. So one by one I'm making them. There's chances I'm taking. There's rules, well I'm breaking them. You say no, I say yes. I have always been fearless. Literally the day we were driving in our Luton van, we were like, we'll move ourselves, it'll be fine. And we loaded up our Luton van with all our stuff, and we were driving along the road, and this police van pulled in front of us on the road, and we were like, oh, this is funny. This is like we found it hilarious because we were like, oh, they're probably just doing a standard, checking stop or something. They were not. We got pulled over because our van was overweight by 780 kilos, and we got charged a £500 fine. And not only that, but had to hire a second Luton van to come and meet our current Luton van. Had to load all of our stuff out onto the side of the road and move it into 2 different Luton vans. So that wasn't a bad omen. On top of that, I'd been made redundant the week before. And then when we moved, we had all sorts of financial problems which happened with our flat. We got 4 parking tickets in our own space and couldn't get the money back. There's a lot of bad things that happened, and we thought, it's a bit like what we were just saying. We were like, this has to go in a song because it's actually kind of unbelievable. So this is sort of the story behind, and a bit more of a fun take on our stressful move. It's going to be our next single, and it is called Side of the Road.
1, 2, 3, 4.
yourselves up, time to get tough, roll with the punches.
Pick ourselves up, time to get tough, roll with the punches. It's time to
Pick ourselves up, time to get tough, roll with the punches.
Because it's
Pick yourselves up, roll with the punches now. Even like a four-leaf clover, a little help as it started over. Lost sleep in the clouds above, I swam the river just to show my love. Even like a four-leaf clover, a little help as it started over. Lost sleep in the clouds above, I swam the river just to show my love.
I fancied this girl at this cafe. So I kept, every Sunday I went there for a breakfast. And ended up talking to the owner more than I spoke to her. And the owner was very religious, and he was speaking to me about his religion. And the conversation got quite deep. And I didn't really know this guy very well, but it got quite deep, and he got me questioning, you know, oh my God, I'm a bad person because I don't do this. And I'm a bad person because I celebrate Christmas and one thing and another. And I came away with this song. It's called Indoors. Lately I've been talking with the ones that I can't see, asking if they'd help me with the girl of my dreams. But all I got in return was worry and concern, wishing that I'd never asked because she's just a girl. All I asked for was a sign to give me peace of mind, but instead I opened up a gateway that goes deep inside. The questioning of my faith and how I live my life, trying to open up the door that I may never find. That doll's held in plain sight. What's behind it is what's messing with my mind. I've got to find it before I can try to understand the true meaning of this life. I've always been open-minded, that I have to say, but the rents and sticks are getting higher, and that adds to my pain. Well, it's knowing what to do and think that's chewing on my brain, pulling back the curtain on the debt that we still haven't paid. And though we try our best to please the ones we gotta please, love the ones we gotta love, feed the ones we gotta feed. No, we won't back down, 'cause there's one thing that we all need. Money makes the world go round, and that just don't sit right with me, 'cause but you continue greedy ways, crooked pictures on the wall, putting me back in my place. I find it hard to believe all the things you say, prophecies about the Holy One that sends you to your grave. Well, if he is all that good, then what's with all this suffering? When you die, and that's the bit that I don't quite get yet. 'Cause that dog said in plain sight, what's behind it is what's messing with my mind. I've got to find it before I can try to understand the true meaning of this life. 'Cause that dog said that dog's hidden in plain sight. What's behind it is what's messing with our mind.
This next song of mine is, was actually my last single that I released. It's called Boots in the Rain. And I released it in January, which is really the best time to release a song called Boots in the Rain. We all had plenty of those at that time. And this is one that I wrote with Sally Barris, actually in Nashville, not on Zoom, in person. And really, we just wanted to write a song about me writing country music and loving playing country music, but being from the UK. And that was just the general idea when we started writing it. And so we decided that it would go on the album. And the more I played it out and the more I had people listen to it, the more I kind of realised that it was about a little bit more than that. Isn't it really funny when you write a song and you think it's about one thing, and then as other people listen to it, you're like, I wrote that song, you'd think I'd know what it was about, but apparently that's not what it was about. It was about this. Well, that's what happened to me with this song. I realised that this song was actually more about the fact that it doesn't matter where you're from. If you love country music, if you love anything, it doesn't matter who you are, where you're from, none of that. All that matters is that you love it, and that's enough. This is called Boots in the Rain. The sun's coming out over the hills, and all you can see are miles of cornfields. Could be Kansas, could be Tennessee. As long as it's country, don't really matter to me. Wherever the wind is calling your name, the grass is so much greener. Wide open sky lighting nature's stage. The air is so much sweeter. Got a song in my soul and a heart that don't want to be tamed. Some boots in the rain. It's cold here in London, and I'm fighting the chill. Just hearing Miranda play. Damn, she gets to me still. Don't need that whiskey. Forget the moonshine.
feeling warm tonight. Wherever the wind is calling your name, the grass is so much greener. Wide open skylight in nature's stage. Some say that I'm a dreamer. Got a song in my soul and a heart that don't wanna be tamed. Some boots in the rain. City streets, skies of gray. 3 minutes running to take me away. Wherever the wind is calling your name, the grass is so much greener. Wide open skylight in nature's stage can make anyone a believer. Got a song in my soul and a heart that don't wanna be tamed. Got my head in the clouds while I'm catching the incoming train. And some boots in the rain. Got some boots in the rain.
Yeah, we sort of wrote this song about, I guess, I don't know, feeling like there are positives to turning older, but in terms of especially music, then it feels sometimes like it's not the best thing.
Starting to feel my age. The hangovers last 4 days. I've turned 30, I found my first grade. Been a slow burn, I gotta pick up the pace.
Is it all in my mind? I wake up, another thought on my side. Why does the mirror feel so unkind? Through my eyes, I'm getting older.
I'm getting older.
I'm getting
Older. I'm getting older. Hey! Stuck in a job I hate. Pays the rent but it's always late. You're saving up so we can buy a place. A slice of heaven to get away. I'm getting older. I'm getting older.
I'm getting
Older. I'm getting older. I'm taken by surprise.
but surprise is something I write.
And I feel I'm falling behind.
But I kind of enjoy the ride, so I won't let it be a burden.
It happened to all of us.
Because I know who I am for certain. I'm getting
Older. I'm getting older.
I'm getting
Older. I'm getting older.
oh, I'm getting old.
Starting to feel
Oh,
my
I'm
age.
getting old.
Hangovers last 4 days.
Getting older.
I'm getting
older.
So this is a song I wrote September time. It's called Closing Time. And last summer was probably the best summer of my life. Passed my driving test, so I was here, there and everywhere. And This is a song about reflecting on how good the summer was and not wanting it to end. It's called Closing Time. Days are nearly gone, and autumn casts its shadow on the happy times we all had in the spring. When the morning dew was swift to rise, and the birds all started slinging round, such a happy place to visit in my head. Then a man from Oklahoma came and brought joy on that summer day to me and all my friends out of the snow. Ain't it funny how you might love someone you never met or touched, from the words that they have put into his song? It's closing time in my mind, but my heart is quite gotten what it needs, yeah. And I'll be there to live again. All the moments that I wish I never had. The more you look, the less you'll find, 'cause some ain't never satisfied. They only think about, but they ain't got yet. And the more you take, the less you'll pay. The more you cry, the less you'll hate, 'cause beggars can't be choosers in this world. You said that you won't get attached, from warm my feelings not to catch, but I don't stay a stranger for long, dear. I remember my old granddad saying, you can't sell what you give away. It's a bad day, not a bad life. It's closing time in my mind, but my heart ain't quite gotten what it needs yet. And I'll be there to live again. All the moments that I wish I never had. What ain't yours you can't have. I'll take the check or I'll take the cash, 'cause money's sadly something that we all need. And I'll sink the ship yet stay afloat. Your temperament sure rocks my boat, and drowning ain't nothing I'm afraid of. If there's a world of hope, if there's a world of lies, there's a thing to cope, but it'll get you high. But sometimes we all need to let our hair down. And it's a simple part of every day to sit and listen, sit and wait for something that ain't never gonna come. It's closing time in my mind, but my heart ain't quite gotten what it needs yet. And I'll be there to live again. All the moments that I wish to never pass.
I think people who maybe aren't songwriters think that songs get written in one go, and that's not always how they work. And this one was one that I, on my own, had written the chorus, and I had a little bridge going on that I quite liked. But for the life of me, I could not write anything else. I couldn't write anything good, no verses. I just couldn't put it into context. So after months of wrestling this thing, I just thought, oh, I'm just going to go to some other writers. I'm going to go to some other writers and I'm going to get them to write it with me. So I hop on a Zoom. We all love Zoom, right? Best thing to come out of the pandemic. Yeah. So I hopped on Zoom and I went on to a session with Sally Barris in Nashville and Francesca de Valence in Australia. That time zone was a bit iffy to work with. It took about 2 days for everyone to read the same single email, but we got a time set up. And I took them this song, and I was kind of nervous. I didn't know if they were going to like it, but they did. And after months of wrestling this song, we finished it in about an hour and a half. But It's now a crowd favourite, and it is a single, so it's out on all the streaming platforms as well as on my album. It's called California. I've never even been to California. Here we go. Make it stop as I pour another coffee, bursting, singing all the things that I wish you would have said. That's the movie in my head. Gone forever, or I could drive down to California, ignore Thank you very much.